So the next thing that I'm going to talk about was another question that we got from one of on the YouTube channel from one of Carol's videos when she was doing um, the demo for doing eConsents with multiple sites and using DAGs to toggle between which consent is displayed. Um, their question was more about because they're using the public survey link or the QR code that goes to a public survey link, and they wanted to know how users or participants would be able to select a specific consent for their site if they're coming in from the public survey link because they're not being assigned a DAG. Um, and so the problem is that you can still use DAGs, but not with the public survey link because you can't have branching logic. Um, you can't toggle between consents on an instrument because when you use the eConsent framework, you can only have one consent that exists on an instrument. And the only method of toggling between consents is with the DAG or with the multi-language management. Those are the only two mechanisms that the eConsent framework allows to have multiple consents on an instrument. So in order to solve that problem, the first thing that I would recommend is creating an instrument that has a field where you're selecting your site and then having your consents as separate instruments after that. So if we go to the designer here, you'll see that I have just a consent site instrument, and then this is going to be on the public link. So this is what the user is going to see when they click on the public link or the QR code. And then you're going to have them select a site based on that and submit it. And then we're going to use the auto continue function and the form display logic to route them to the correct consent. And because these are separate consent instruments, it allows us to have it's a way for us to have multiple consents because we're still having one consent per instrument. And all the user's really going to see is the first consent. They don't need to see, they don't need to know that there's multiple consents in the background. They're only going to see the one that applies to them. But it's important that you have something that allows them they're able to select something that routes them to the correct place. You can't have your consent instrument like this as the first consent because it's just going to load by default and then you can't go anywhere from there. I mean, you could have them say like, this isn't my site. And then they would go to the next one and they say, this one isn't my site, but that would make no sense. You want them to select the site first and then route them accordingly. So I'm going to go in here and set up the eConsent. I'm going to enable it. We're going to do it for Tucson. I'm just going to leave all this blank for now. If you want to know how to set all these up or what each of these does, we have the videos that Carol's done that are in this playlist as well. I'm just going to get this set up for now so we can really focus on routing the consents in the correct place. Next thing is I'm going to add the consent form. So I'm going to add 1.0 for this. And then I'm going to select I have a descriptive text field in both of my consent instruments that I'm going to place the PDF. So this is the consent Tucson one. As you see here, these are the only, if I had DAG set up, I could set that, which site I wanted for the DAG or the MLM, multi-language management. Next, I'm going to add the consent form, which, let me make sure I have. Yes, so we're just going to add, I just have these little PDFs here, just consent Tucson. And then we're going to add the consent form. And then next I'm going to add the consent for Phoenix. Same thing, I'm just going to go through this and save the settings. And then we're going to add the consent form for Phoenix. All right. So this is all set up for the eConsent framework. Next thing we need to do is go back to the surveys, and we want to enable auto continue. So right now you can see this little arrow. That means that this is going to auto continue to the next survey. So to set that up, you go into the survey settings and you scroll down probably about 2/3 of the way. And here for the survey termination options, you want to check auto continue to the next survey. And you don't want to mess with any of the conditional logic here. You just want to make sure that this is checked. And then we scroll all the way down and we select save changes. And if we had other instruments here for them, demographics instrument or like enrollment or all this, you would select this one and do an auto continue because you want them to flow through all the surveys that they need to fill out. But since this is the last one of this list, we don't need to auto continue because it's going to propagate all the way down. And then the next thing we want to do is set up the form display logic. So what form display logic does is it lets you skip over forms or go to forms based on your branching logic. And so you want to make sure that this is set for, you can set it for data entry forms and auto continue, because what this is going to do is it's going to enable those instruments. So if you're in the data entry viewer, you're in the record status dashboard, you'll see all the instruments, but they'll be grayed out and you won't be able to click on them or enter data into those if they're not part of this flow. And then the survey auto continue is where we've set it up in the settings, and it's going to use that to automatically flow with the logic that we're setting up. So I'm just checking for this first one. I've selected consent Tucson. You don't need to select this one because this is the one we're using to trigger the logic. If you do select this one, then you have the logic coming from that, it's kind of like a self-referential thing, and it doesn't work. It'll complain. So you only need the form that you're going to. If you had multiple forms that were going to be applicable for this, you would want to make sure they're all listed here and they're all checked. It's not it's like branching logic. Whenever you have a bunch of fields that you want to be displayed based on the selection of another field, you want to make sure that branching logic is in all of those fields. Same thing here is you're applying this branching logic to all of these forms. So you want to make sure all the forms are checked here that you need to that you want this to apply to. This site equals 1. This is just the branching logic for the site dropdown, and 1 is Tucson. And then you can see down here I have Phoenix selected, and I have site 2 for this one. So that's all we need to do for this. So if we hit save, and we should all be set up now. So if I go to the survey distribution tools and open the public survey, first thing you get is a question that just says, please select the site that you are being consented at. I select Tucson and hit submit. It'll open up the consent for Tucson. So normally your consents would have more forms down here or fields that you're, checking, signing, dating, all that stuff. But the important thing is this is the consent that is being generated, and you're the one you're seeing. So if we hit next page, it's gonna bring in all the data. This would be the PDF of the instrument with all your data, because I don't have any data fields on here. Nothing's really showing up. But then you certify this and then you submit it. Now that consent is being saved and stored in your file repository for Tucson. If I open up the link again and I select Phoenix and hit submit, the consent Phoenix should pop up. Same thing. We just want to make sure that pops up. You could have fields. The nice thing about having the consents in separate instruments is you may have different fields or different data that you're collecting based on the site. And so instead of having one monolithic consent instrument that you're using a bunch of complex branching logic to show or hide certain fields based on what site, you can just have it all compartmentalized. Anything that we're that applies to Phoenix is going to be in the Phoenix instrument. Anything for Tucson is going to be in the Tucson instrument. So we'll just hit next again. It'll generate the PDF, and then we submit it. And then if we go to the record status dashboard here, you'll see that they filled out the site information, and then this is a Tucson person. And then, you can see here, I can't click on the Phoenix one. Same thing here, I can't click on the Tucson one. The nice thing too is if you do have DAGs set up on your project, you could go into this person's record, and it's not going to show up here, but you'll have the box here to assign them to a DAG. So if they filled out the consent for Tucson and then you want to assign them to the Tucson data access group, that allows the coordinators and the data managers to be able to only see Tucson, and you're basically putting them in that Tucson bucket. People for Phoenix can only see Phoenix. So you still want to make sure your DAGs are set up if you're going to compartmentalize the data that way. This is only for routing the user to a particular consent based on the site that they select. So this is giving the user the ability to get to the proper consent that they need to fill out, and then you can still do all the data access group work afterwards.
Yeah, this is mostly necessary when you're trying to use the public survey link. If for some reason you've already contacted the patient and you have their details, then normally you have an instrument with those details, and then you have a different link. So this is really when you're using the public survey link.
Correct.
There it's necessary.
Yep. So does anybody have any questions about that?